I banned my mother from my daughter's delivery room. My wife Nora went into labor at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday. We'd had the plan for months. It was going to be me, Nora, and that was it. We told everyone that back in the spring. My mom said she understood. She did not understand. I should back up. My mom has this thing where she has to run every room she walks into. Nora's baby shower turned into my mom's party. She changed the venue, changed the guest list, told people the wrong date, so the ones she didn't like showed up an hour late. Nora cried in the car after. So when we talked about the delivery, Nora looked at me and said, I don't want her in there. I can't do it with her in there. I said, okay, I meant it. I told my mom over dinner in March. I said, just so you're clear, it's going to be Nora and me in the room. You can come to the hospital after. She smiled and said, of course, honey, whatever Nora needs. Then 2 weeks later, she mailed us a hospital bag she packed. Inside was a shirt for herself. It said grandma's here on it. I didn't say anything. I should have. So Tuesday, 4 a.m., we're at the hospital. I texted my mom around 9 a.m. once things were moving, told her we'd let her know when the baby came. She texted back, on my way. I called her. I said, Mom, you can wait at home. I'll call you. She said, I'm not sitting at home while my granddaughter is being born. I'll be in the waiting room. Fine. The waiting room was fine. Around 2 p.m., a nurse came in and said, your mother's out there. She's asking to come back and see how you're doing. Nora's whole body tensed. I said, no, tell her we're okay. The nurse left. 10 minutes later, she came back and said my mom told her she was Nora's mom and had permission to be in the room. Nora's actual mom passed away 4 years ago. My mom knew that. She used it. I went out to the waiting room. My mom stood up like she'd been waiting for me to come get her. She had the grandma's here shirt on. I said, you told the nurse you were her mother. She waved her hand. I said I was family. They misheard. I said, you need to stay out here. She goes, I have been nothing but supportive and this is how you treat me? I drove 40 minutes. I said, you can meet the baby after. That was always the plan. She lowered her voice and said, if you make me sit out here like a stranger, I will leave and I will not come back. I said, okay. I went back in. Nora asked what happened. I said it was handled. Then 20 minutes later, there's a knock and my mom just walks in. She'd gotten another nurse to bring her back by saying I'd changed my mind. Nora was mid-contraction. My mom said, oh good, I didn't miss it, and started setting her purse down on the counter like she was moving in. I stood up between her and the bed. I said, you have to leave right now. She said, you are being cruel. This is my grandchild too. Nora, in the middle of everything, said, get her out. My mom looked at Nora like she'd been slapped and said, excuse me? After everything and I said it before I could stop myself. You're not family in this room. You're a guest who wasn't invited. Get out. She stood there. Then she said, you'll regret talking to your mother like this. I walked to the door and opened it and told the nurse my mother was leaving and was not to be allowed back for any reason. The nurse nodded. My mom grabbed her purse. At the door, she turned around and said, I won't be at the christening. I won't be at any of it. You've made your choice. I said, that's fine. And I shut the door. Our daughter was born at 6:12 p.m. Nora held her first. Then me. It was just us the way we wanted it. My mom left the hospital and called every relative she has on the drive home. By the next morning, my phone was full. My aunt said I'd broken my mother's heart. My uncle said a woman deserves to see her granddaughter born. My cousin sent a paragraph about how family is everything and I'd know that someday. I answered one text from my dad. He asked if it was really necessary to embarrass her like that in front of the nurses. I texted back. She told them my dead mother-in-law's spot was hers. Ask her about that part. She hasn't told them that part. Nobody's called since.